Kingsflyer here, rcgroups.com, with the new Spektrum S155 Smart Charger. In the first video of this series, we set up the S155 for our preferred screen settings, audio settings, and charging settings. We also determined that a new firmware update was available, and that update has been installed. Our Spektrum S155 Smart Charger is now ready for operation. For our first charging session, we'll be charging a normal 3-cell LiPo battery. Since this is not a smart battery, we'll need to enter some battery parameters into the S155 before we begin the actual charging. With the charger plugged in, the S155 boots up, and then the initial charge screen appears. This 2200 milliamp hour 3-cell LiPo battery has the typical JST-XH balance plug, but it has a T-connector style power plug. I've made up a charge cord to allow the battery to be charged using a standard EC3 style power connector. Before we can plug in the power connector, we need to be sure the S155 charge port is properly configured for the EC3. The S155 charger has a sliding cover that allows access to either the EC3 IC3 charge connector or a larger EC5 IC5 charge connector. In this case, we need to slide the cover down to expose the smaller charge connector. First step is to plug in the balance connector, being careful to ensure that the connector is indexed all the way to the left of the balance port, with the two small raised index guides oriented towards the bottom of the charger. The black port is a bit hard to see in the black case, so take a little more time and be sure the balance lead is inserted correctly. Once the balance lead is inserted, the S155 display will show individual cell voltage values for the pack. Next, we'll need to insert the power lead into the S155 charge connector. The EC-IC series of connectors have a flat side for the positive lead, and that helps to index the power connector and ensure proper polarity for the charger. Once the power lead is inserted, we're ready to adjust the S155 charger settings for this particular battery. Push and hold the enter button until the charger setting menu comes up, and then release the button. Push the up button to get to the top of the menu. The top selection is charge. Since the S155 charger doesn't have a storage or discharge function, charge is the only option available. Press the down button to move to the battery selection, and push the enter button to access the battery options. There are 6 different battery types displayed for this charger. Press the up or down buttons to highlight the proper battery type, and then push the enter button to select that type and return to the charger settings menu. Since LiPo type is already selected, we can press the back button to exit the battery menu and return to the charger settings menu. Press the down button to move to the cells menu. Press the enter button to bring up the cells menu. Press the up or down buttons to select the proper cell count for the battery you want to charge. Once the proper cell count is highlighted, press the enter button to save the cell count and return to the charger settings menu. Since 3 cells is already selected, we can press the back button to exit the cells menu and return to the charger settings menu. Press the down button to move to the current menu. Press the enter button to bring up the charge current selection values. Press the up or down buttons to highlight the preferred charging current, in this case 2.2 amps. Once the proper charge current is selected, press the enter button to save the selection and return to the charger settings menu. Press the down button to display the ending charge voltage value. The default here is 4.2 volts, but it can be adjusted down to as low as 4.1 volts. Press the enter button to adjust the voltage, or press the down button to move on. The next menu item is Start. Press the enter button to begin the charging process. The S155 charger will begin charging, and in the upper portion of the display it'll show a pictorial representation of the battery's state of charge, as well as a numerical percentage of charge value. The battery chemistry type and the cell count will also be displayed. The lower portion of the display will show the battery status. In this case, the battery is charging. Below that, the display will show the charge rate, the capacity charged, and the total charge time. After 10 minutes, the charger is still charging at 2.2 amps. The battery is at 85% capacity and has received 375 milliamp hours of energy. After 15 minutes, the charger is at 2.2 amps, the battery is at 94% capacity, and it's received 550 milliamp hours of energy. After 22 minutes, the charge rate is down to 0.6 of an amp. The battery is at 99% capacity, and it's received 720 milliamp hours of energy. The single beep from the charger signals the end of the fast charge phase of the charging process and the beginning of the balance charge phase. The battery pictorial has changed to green and the battery capacity is shown as 100%. The charge rate shows slight variations as the balance process proceeds. The double beep signifies the completion of the charge process. The lower display shows charge done. The charge current is almost zero. The capacity charged is shown as 727 milliamp hours, and the total charge time is shown as 22 minutes. Since the charger completion tone is set to repeat, the double beep will be repeated approximately every 30 seconds until the battery is disconnected from the charger. Well, that wraps up part 2 of the Spektrum S155 Smart Charger video. The process for charging a non-smart battery may seem a little intimidating, but it's really pretty simple. The good news is it gets easier and easier every time you do it. Check out the part 3 video where we charge Spektrum G1 and G2 smart batteries. I promise you're going to be amazed at how easy it is to charge smart batteries with this Spektrum S155 smart charger.